Hello boys and girls, and we're now going to show you how to code the rocks and the apples so that the horse has something to jump over. So the first thing that we want to do at the very beginning, because we're going to have it do some hiding and showing and disappearing, so the first thing I want to always do is, one, get the event. And now I'm going to go ahead and get it a starting position. Okay, so I'm going to say go to this starting position, and then I want it to hide for right now. Okay, because I want it to hide until we're ready for it to show up after the night talk. So I'm going to come over here to looks, and I'm going to tell it to hide. Okay, so now I am going to wait just a few seconds because the night talks for 4 seconds. So I'm going to come back over here to my rock, and I'm going to say wait 4 seconds. So these won't start until the night has talked. So now I'm going to get a forever loop. So after the 4 seconds, I want it to show back up. Show back up. And now I'm going to tell it to forever move. You could do the glide like we did the last time, but this time I need it to not to be in the glide because I want it to be something happen if it hits the horse or the edge. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say move a -10 steps. Okay, so now I'm going to click move a -10 steps. The trees are already going. There is the rock. So now you see that it's stuck and it hit the horse. So what is it going to do if it hits the horse? I'm going to come over here and I'm going to bring out 2 of these. I'm going to say if and if because I have 2 different ones. I'm going to say over here, if it is touching the horse, what do I want to do? And then I'm going to say if it is touching the mouse, what do I want it to do? So if it's touching the horse, I want it to hide because I want it to not still be there. So I want it to hide. Okay, so if touching the horse, it's going to hide. I'm going to tell it to go back to the starting position. So I'm going to get a motion thing again, and I'm going to say go back to that starting position, and I'm just going to type those same numbers that are right here, 191 -147. So if touching, it's going to hide and go to that position, and then that's going to be the same code that I put down here. Okay, so now I'm going to put down here, I'm going to just grab another go to. I'm going to type that number again and another hide. So if right now we have if it's touching this, then it will hide, and if it's not, so either the edge or the horse, it's going to hide. And after it hides, I want to give it just like a second before it shows back up again. So I'm just going to add a small wait inside of here. So I'm only going to give it like a half a second because I don't want it to wait too long. So I'm going to do the same thing down on this one. Now, here's where we're going to make this into a game. So now I'm going to say if it touches the horse, the rock, it's going to lose a point. So I'm going to come and I'm going to create a variable, and I'm going to make a variable. I'm just going to call it score. And once I have a score, now I'm going to, at the very beginning, I'm going to say set, not my score, but my variable score. And then I'm going to come down here. If it's touching the horse, I am going to change. Okay, I'm going to change the variable by a -1. So now every time that the rock Oh, but do you see, it's never showing back up. So I said hide, go to this position, change the variable weight, then I need it to show back up. That is a common thing that we often have to debug because we think it's automatically going to show up. But so I'm going to put a show right here. And I'm going to add, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put that show right there. So I'll debug them both at the same time. Okay, so now let's look and see what that looks like. So he hits the space to jump. He's going to try to collect the food. But right now, he doesn't. So, oh, and then I need to, instead of my, change it to my score. That's another common mistake. Let's try again. Trees moving in the background. And now you see it got a -1. Now, the cool thing about this code, I've already done the rock. Now, I just need to do the apple. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to just drag all of this over here to the apple. Because it's the same code. The only difference with the code is instead of, you're going to, let me have that show up. I want the apple to have this starting position. So I'm going to change these numbers to what it says right here. So I'm going to say 210 and -88. I'm going to do that again. 210, -88, 210. Make sure you change it in all the spaces so that way it's not on top of the rock. And then I'm going to tell it, instead of change the score by -1, we'll change it by +1. And so now we should have it coded. So now I can hit the space bar to jump over the food and get the rock. So if touching, oh, I said if touching mouse pointer. I want it to say if touching edge. And I probably need to change that on the rock as well. So if touching edge. Okay, so you see there's some little debugging things that you can do. You can see you can collect points, that you can jump. So this is how you would play your game. And finally, what you would do is you would say at the end, you could say at the end, you would add it into your forever loop. You're going to add a variable. So you're going to actually go to the horse. And when the flag is clicked, I want you to forever check to say if the score, so if, come back over here, get a score. If the score, I'm going to use an operator. I'm going to say if the score is, so I'm going to come over here to get equals. If the score equals 50, or I'm going to change it to a lower number, I'm going to say 10. If the score equals 10, I'm going to say I got food, say something. I got the food. And then this is kind of important. You want it to stop all so that the game will stop. So I'm just going to come over here, stop all. So now we have a way to finish the game. I hope you guys have fun.